Yo, what is good? It's your boy Druid, and today we're coming with another absolute banger. Today we're going to talk about the time where I took some shrooms and took myself on an unnecessary emotional roller coaster. In hindsight, I mean, some of it was good. I haven't had like fractal visuals quite like that since, but at the same time, I was tweaking a little bit. Okay? Before we get into the video, hope you like it. Drop a like down below if you do. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into it. So, this happened mid-March of this year, right? It was the spring semester. I was a full-time student at the local community college. I was working about 30 hours a week or so. And I just, I wasn't having it, At this point in my life, I was just not in a great place emotionally or mentally. And in order to cope with that, I tried to stay high 24/7. And when I wasn't smoking weed, I'd take my shrooms, balance it that way. I'd take enough to where I could still afford it, but I would build a tolerance super quickly. And the same with my weed, just like, okay, we're spending a shitload on shrooms this month because I fucked up my tolerance last month. Or this month, we're spending a shitload on weed because I took way too many dabs and couldn't help myself from putting my concentrates on my flower and ripping my bowls that way. So, as you could tell, I was just going ham with my substance use. I had no fucks to give. I think I've said that a lot. But yeah, I was in my little DJing streak. And this day was just like one of those. But the thing that stood out a little bit to me was the way that I experienced this. Half of it was a bad trip, half of it was a good trip. And I'm not sure if this is common or if this was just a one-off thing, because that's what it was for me. At first, I was really uncomfortable. And then as it went on, it got like ridiculously better. On this fateful day, I happened to have work off, right? To be honest, I don't remember if I had school. I might have just skipped because that's something that I kind of made a habit out of. I also would show up to school and not realize that I had tests that day and just raw dog the test. Sometimes it came out better than others. Most of the time, it was a low passing grade. It was something. But today, I didn't have work. I didn't go to school. Since I had open crib, why not as well dose on some shrooms and just vibe out? I did have my computer, so I could have played some games, but I just wasn't interested. And I found that reading books when you're tripping is kind of hard because it's like you're dyslexic. The words don't stay the same. They might a little bit, but they very much have a mind of their own. Those letters will change shapes and move, and sometimes that's a headache. It's a lot easier just to chill back, watch some cartoons, or just stare at some pictures, which is what I tried to do. In one of the front rooms in our new house, we had some stuff left by the previous owners. And in particular, there's this old picture, like a cheap golden gilded frame with a rose painting or whatever. It might have been print. I don't know. Something that I can't do because I'm kind of limited to stick figures. Point being, I liked it and I thought it would be cool to stare at while I tripped. So I took my 2 grams or so. I hadn't had any in the past few days and figured my tolerance should have reset by now. And I always figured that the information regarding the dosage was a little off because Esther, my plug's baby mama, would tell us that she would take 3 or 4 and hop behind the wheel and the road would be turning. Her baby daddy would take 4 or 5 and he would basically become incoherent. And at that point in my life, I was loving the idea of incoherency. I did not want to experience reality, and I was very fascinated with figuring out ways to have enjoyable, escapist kind of moments. I was just not digging my life situation. I hated school. I was not a big fan of my job, besides the fact that I could show up to work fucked up, or get fucked up at shift, or do whatever, and no one would say anything. But besides that, I was pretty much miserable every day in and out if I wasn't high or shrooming. So today, like any other, I pop my thing. I go into my bag. I dig out the wrapper. I don't remember what it was. Actually, was it the Cinnamon Toast Crunch ones? Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the plug that was served these to us for a while had like these ridiculous flavors. I remember the last couple of times that I bought some, I was getting like Reese's flavored, and it would come in a damn box that looked like a Reese's box, you know? It looked like the Hershey's company was putting out some and had an interesting relationship with the FDA, because I was getting my hands on some very delicious, not very legal packages, you know? So I go ahead, I pop my chocolate, and since there's nobody there, I figure I'm gonna take a little bit more than usual, and I'm just gonna vibe out. I'm gonna trip, I'm gonna do whatever, yada yada. I don't know if it's because I had been taking them recently. I said that I was alone in the house. Essentially, my mom has a dog, right? She's very sweet, but she also is very needy, has a lot of anxiety, whatever, and so she will follow you like a freaking AirTag put in your car by a stalker. Like she is on you like some Gorilla Glue and a condom. She is stuck by your side, and she will not leave till she dies. It is what it is. She's been in the room when I've been chiefing on the Puffco. I'm really glad she can't snitch, is all I'm going to say. And today she gave me a scare. As I was pulling these out of my bag, she thought it was a treat, you know, because she gets a lot of those, and as she should, she's a sweet girl. And like as I'm breaking these pieces off, I'm a little zooted, right? I've already been ripping some dabs out of my Luca that morning, and she jumps up on me, and at first I'm just like, come on girl, get down please, like important priority here. Let me take my psilocybin dosage for today. Let me do my thing. I will attend to your needs in a moment, shortly. And eventually she just jumps right back up on it again. She doesn't listen. She does not heed one word coming out of my mouth. So I am, a little high, and I'm holding this, and I'm trying to like push these out of the wrapper because I didn't have many left, and I was, just finish out the bar, right? So I do so, and I thought I had 5 pieces, right? And I, had broken off 4, and I was setting off, the last one in my box. She jumps up again, and then instead of jumping on me, she lands on my bed, right? She hops up there, and that's where I have my chocolate sitting. And she grabs the little white bag that was inside the box that the chocolates came in. I noticed what she's doing, and I internally flip a switch, go into fight or flight mode. Like, oh my god, dude, this was almost as bad as the time I thought she ate my acid. She's gonna do it again. Oh my god. I mean, I guess we're gonna be in for a treat, because my squares are already down the hatch, and I don't know what she did with the other. So, she gets down, I get her off my bed, and I go looking for this square, and I just can't find it. And eventually, it goes so long for me searching for these shits that either the weed wore off and the shrooms kicked in, or the shrooms just kicked in general. I started to feel the come up. I was seeing the visual static, things that were brightly colored or had tint to them seemed to be a little bit more saturated, and everything seemed a little bit more silly, and I was giggly, and I was just ready to like be happy and vibe. But 15 minutes pass, I'm dicking around on my phone just waiting for it to hit me a little bit more, and it is, and eventually I start to notice that something is off, something is not right. And I just, in the back of my head, I keep thinking, like, oh my god, the dog. Like, dog shrooming, me shrooming. I don't like that equation when we put the plus sign in the middle of it. I don't want to know what is the equals. Like, I did not do well in college algebra. I do not need to know certain math facts. It's too scary. And in this situation, I was just trying to calm myself down. I immediately just decide, okay, I'm going to grab my lemon water, and I'm going to walk to the front room. There's a picture, that portrait I was talking about of a rose. There's also a piano in that front room, although I, was not at all thinking about playing piano at the moment. I was just feeling it come on like exponentially more intensely as every 30 seconds seemed to get by. It was almost as if my entire mental essence was getting poured through a funnel into some place. So I might be able to be comfortable in the direction that I'm going, but I don't really know where I'm going. And so I felt pretty like on edge. I managed to sit down on this chair, right? It's red, it has some geometric patterns. It's pretty comfortable. It's like one of the just standard room chairs that you have with an ottoman at its feet, This one just happened to be pretty red, and it had like these hexagonal patterns over it. I was looking at the patterns, and them shits were glowing. The red on the chair was glowing. The patterns themselves were vibing. They were, just breaking off into little fractal patterns and stuff. For some reason, I just get the feeling that like when I'm staring at these patterns, I get like hyper focused and stuck. Like I don't mentally move, So I figure instead of looking at this chair that like reminds me of people that want to kick me out of my house type shit, I decide to stare at the painting. Who knows where it came from, like what the story was behind it, on how it got there. And in that kind of idea of it being attached from my reality made me a bit more comfortable. So I'm looking at this thing, and my mind feels like I'm walking through time, but my thought process is coherent, although slow, and like almost as if like caramel was dripping. Like it would connect between like point A to point B, but it felt as if I was moving through time so slowly. And I kind of decided, fuck it, I'm gonna pull out my phone, and while I'm just staring at this portrait, I'm going to voice memo my thoughts and feelings in this moment. And so I did that, and I ended up finding it in my phone. So let's get a little bit of that, and you can hear how I was doing that fateful day.
I'm sitting in a chair with a love seat or an ottoman, and these two paintings are above a brick fireplace. It's a gorgeous vase with gorgeous roses. They're the most lovely pinks, and the leaves on the stems, they're quite green, but there's a tinge of blueness throughout even the most yellow of the leaf. I think the paintings, the medium might have been a pastel or a painting that would have required something like that. Whatever shadows and light patterns that are casted upon the wall, those can be entrancing. Anything geometric, I think, like geometric LEDs tinging everything, that can be an interesting thing. If I close my eyes, it's this wondrous dream, this path that might open mysteries, maybe fortunes untold. My eye, it's like wearing three-dimensional glasses, 3D glasses. It has that off geometric pixelated hue where the reds and blues are highlighted. There's this weird holographic sphere that can be kind of entrancing and catch your eye. It can almost make it look like it's a gift vibrating. Sometimes that could be nice. Sometimes it can like send an echo into your brain almost, like the image is like falling into the iris and pupil of your eye. This like sunken feeling, and sometimes you can lean into it and it like for seconds you're like in free fall, and you like in your mind know it's not real, so you're just like laughing the whole time. It's a very, in quiet spaces like this, I feel it, if you have free time to be quite inviting in a lovely way, like with a chai tea into a nap, that's exactly where I'm going, or where I could go. And I think I would wake up with like a Chick-fil-A mac and cheese or anything that's like the baked mac and cheese, some chicken. Oh yeah, you always get giggles and stuff. If you're a person, forget that. Peace.
Okay, so essentially, you just heard me describe all those visuals and the feeling that I had in that moment, physically and mentally. The visuals that I saw externally and when I closed my eyes inside my head. And eventually, I noticed that the dog, sweet girl, she's gone to the little ottoman and she's just curled up next to me, And I'm like, oh, I got some company, she cares. And that was enough to like reset and rebalance myself. I snapped up out of the chair, chugged my lemon water. It was a big ass mason jar full. And immediately I realized, shit, it's about time for lunch. So I decided to go into the kitchen, and before I even get into the fridge, I just randomly burst out into song, dude. I became a one-man Broadway show. This was ridiculous. I was like Shakespearean freestyle singing. It was so hard to explain. I was just vibing. I felt so good. The afterglow was insane. My body felt so light and uplifted. Inside, I didn't feel so tense anymore. I was so lucid and excited and just joyful, to the point where I was wanting to sing about it, I was a bard singing my own ballad. It was interesting, I'll say. And my dog's just standing there, and she's just not having it. She just starts jumping up on me while I'm doing this. But I'm vibing so hard, I don't give a crap. I just set her down. I just start pivoting, I'm back in marching band, dude. Left heel down, standing on my right foot, just spinning around, dude. I feel this rush of euphoria. I'm saying all these things that are kind of Disney-esque. And from there on, I just kind of made a sandwich after I chilled the fuck out and just ate it on the porch and petted the dog and apologized to her a lot for probably poisoning her. Maybe that's what she was jumping on me for. I don't know. I deserved it. Anyways, I hope y'all liked the video. Drop a like if you do. Stay tuned for the next Shroom Saga episode. Y'all stay safe. Peace.